everyone, I'm Destinybobestiny, and I had the joy of reviewing the game Potion Craft for Get Your Geek On. I have played it 3 or 4 times over the course of about a week, and it was alright. The highlights of the game is that time kind of flies when you're on it. It has this haggling aspect that is kind of fun because it's challenging and it's difficult to get right. So it kind of reels you back in. You want to improve on that skill and get it, because it just, even when you're not good at it, you're close to being good at it. So the time flies when you play the game. It's a game that you will spend a lot of time on once you sit down to play. However, when I open up my Steam library and I'm thinking about what I want to play, I wouldn't ever say that I was in the mood for Potion Craft. I wouldn't ever say it's a game that I look forward to playing when I get home. Gotta get on that Potion Craft, or leveling up wasn't that exciting to me. There wasn't a lot of achievements, I guess, with the game, that it just didn't make me eager to play. But once I sat down, it was hard to pull myself away, and it was, all right, I can do one more day. Okay, I can do one more customer. I can figure out this one last thing over and over and over again, which is really nice when a game kind of takes you away and it doesn't get boring when you start it. So that was something I really enjoyed about it. I played the game a little bit with my 6-year-old on my lap, and she's really into fantasy, everything, fairy tale, mermaids, potions. She loves making magic potions. She really enjoyed the game. She did not want me to stop, even though I was like, we got to go to dinner, we ran out of time. So for a younger crowd that's more into potion mixing, I definitely see it as more of a kid's game than maybe an adult's game. But there is a logical strategy side to it, which is a lot of fun. You have different plants that can take you different directions on this very intricate potion map. And you kind of got this potion in the center, and then your plants will like give you a trail, and then you stir it in a pot, and your little symbol follows that trail, and you try to match it up with different spots on the map to create potions and kind of figure out what they are. So that does add a strategy puzzle aspect of it, and I like strategy games and puzzle games, so I enjoyed that and finding the quickest way as well as the most efficient way to get the best potion available. When you stir the potion, it is very, very difficult. It's the closer you get to the center of the shape on the map that's shaped like a potion bottle, the closer you are to the center, the stronger potion you make. So you can make a potion that's level 1, 2, or 3. Level 2 basically just has to be touching the symbol on the map, the little outline. And then potion 2 is a little more centered, but potion 3 is really, really difficult. You have to line it up exactly. And that was kind of frustrating because even, you have this big cauldron that you stir in the game, and it goes very quick. Once you get close, you really have to slowly drag your little stir stick over so that you don't miss it, because it goes by in just one click, it feels like. The game has a portion that I didn't really get into where you build a new alchemy lab underneath your shop where you can make things that are probably more intense. I didn't have the time within the week, and I'd say I played it for 4 or 5 hours. I didn't quite get to that level yet. You have to buy pieces from merchants. You have to buy pieces from merchants when they come in. And I haven't met a merchant that has sold pieces for the alchemy lab underneath. It does seem like a very interesting part. I don't know if I will desire to open up the game enough to ever figure that out myself. Unless I'm playing with my youngest daughter. I'm sure that my youngest daughter, times when we have our free time, when we have our video game time, I see my youngest daughter asking me to play that game with her. And that she will probably enjoy it. The mechanics of the game are kind of difficult. I feel like it would be a game better played with a remote, if you plug a remote into your PC, versus try and play it with keyboard and mouse like I did. The reason that is because there's a big cauldron in it with the little stirring stick, and behind it, it's the map that like has all your potions and everything that you kind of lay out, and you put your plants in, and your plants would take you directions on this map to follow for your potions, but the map moves, and so does the stick in the cauldron, and there's like a little watering can, and it also moves. So there's several times when I'm moving my mouse around and I'm going to click on the spoon to stir and I accidentally make my map go all crazy behind me, and it got frustrating sometimes. And sometimes it would unclick the spoon and pick up the map, and so now my map's all crazy and not in the right place, but I stopped stirring my potion. It got a little frustrating, but I feel like having the joysticks on the controller would make that easier than clicking and moving the mouse. So it does seem like a game that just easier mechanics with the controller. I didn't try it with the controller, so I don't know if it actually pairs with the controller. But that was kind of a slight frustration in the game, is when I kept multiple times, it wasn't clicking where I needed it or wanted it to click, and I had to be very careful. The game has a very interesting social setup. So characters come in and they buy your potions, which is really awesome. And then it took me a while to see it, but there's a reputation score that you have, and you can basically choose to be a negative shop or a good shop. And at first I was disappointed in the game because I saw my reputation like drop and I was at -6, and I didn't understand it because the game never explained that part. So I thought that meant I was messing up potions, but actually there are people who come in and they'll be like, oh, my neighbor's cows are eating my plants. Can you give me something to protect my plants? And in my head, I was like, yeah, that's shitty. Like, you gotta protect your farm. But then my reputation dropped like 30 points after I gave that potion away, because it's a poison potion to protect his plants, or something that's gonna make the cows not want to eat it. And I thought about it because I was just like, that's the right potion. In my head, I was like, it's just going to make the cows a little sick, but I'm guessing it probably just straight kills them. And that's a negative thing to do. You can't kill your neighbor's cows. So I realized that because my actions supported negative things, I also helped a lady kill her husband. And at first I was just selling to everybody. You want this, I got you. You want this, I got you. But reputation plays an important part of the game. I'm guessing as you go on, especially when it comes to merchants who would deal with you, I'm guessing your reputation is going to be important in the game. So eventually I started, you have to really read the details of what the customer wants to make sure that you're not, well, depending on how you want to play, see if you're giving the customer a potion for a good thing or a negative thing. And really think about the consequences of your potions. That's an important social aspect of it. Another important social aspect of it is when you haggle. I tried to buy things from a merchant and I didn't actually have money for it. So then I tried to haggle to lower the price, but I did a bad job haggling, and I raised the price a whole bunch, but I couldn't meet it. And it upset the merchant, and I got a little note that the merchant doesn't trust me anymore because I backed down on our deal. And I don't know the consequence of that yet, but I feel like it can't be good. It can't be good. Then I'm like pissing off my suppliers. So that's a thing that to make social aspects in the game are very important, and they probably help develop the game further when you get into it, which is really cool. It's really interesting. If you try to sell a potion that the customer's not asking for. If you try to sell a potion that a customer's not asking for, it will say, I don't need that potion. I don't need that potion. When you get a couple days in or a couple levels in, they will start to say, I'll buy this, but I'll pay more for something stronger. I'll pay more for something better. So you start having a standard of potions to receive, which is really hard to do. You do get a recipe book. It comes with 5 pages for you to save recipes on. The way I did it is I started off with my first 5 recipes, and they were all level 1 because I didn't really know what to do. And then as I figured out the game more and figured out how to make level 2s, I would delete the level 1 recipe and then just have the level 2 sitting there. And that makes it a lot easier than stirring everything up and crushing it in the mortar and pestle. So that was an important thing. You really got to play around with it, and there's a lot of detail and a lot of strategy to it. It is a very relaxing game, even with its frustrating bits. That I've wasted ingredients so many times, and that was so frustrating because the ingredients control the directions you go on the map, and then I would use like everything I have to go up. And I'm like, I gotta get this potion way over here, and I would use everything, and on the map they have these dead zones, and you gotta, like, you can touch them a little bit, but you gotta be careful or else it will kill your potion. And I used all my up to like get there, and I was like, it's just touching the dead zone a little bit, but it was too much. It wasn't a little bit, it was too much. And then I was just like, sorry, I have to turn you away. And then that affected my rating. There's a 10-star rating that people can give you. Whenever they walk away, you see like a little bubble come up over their head, and it will say plus and a certain amount of money, and then it will say like plus like some star rating thing, and then like plus or minus a reputation thing, which really helps keep score for you. Which is basically the game. If it came down to it and I had to delete a game to make room for another game, Potion Craft would probably be at the top of the list of games that I'd be willing to delete. I might hesitate a little bit, but it will be on the list of games that I would be willing to delete for a new game. I don't ever see myself coming home and feeling in the mood for Potion Craft. Though I would say my daughter feels differently. My daughter's probably thinking about that game right now in bed. So I see it for a younger crowd. For children, probably 7 to 14. I see Potion Craft being a good and safe game for them. Is it a game that once I open it up and I play it, I can play it for a long time. It's a very relaxing game. It's a good game. I know some of my adult friends like to play games before bed just to chill out and relax. It's a good game to chill out and relax too. It's a good game before bed. It's just a good chill game. It's not chaotic. It's a slow-paced game. It's a thinking game. You can take your time with it. Those are all very positive aspects of the game. The design of the game is very simple. It's nice. It's user friendly. I think the UI, the user interface, is easy to understand after you click around for a little bit, because they do have a tutorial. I wish there was a way to skip the tutorial, because I hate tutorials. There are games that I've not even played because I don't want to bother with the tutorial, so I like to just click around and see how it goes. But there are parts of the game that are not explained in the tutorial on what they mean, but when you click around and stuff, you can kind of figure it out. And some of those things are, it doesn't explain the star rating, it doesn't explain the reputation, and things like that. Haggling, in order to understand it, I kind of had to go back and read about it. And that was okay. I probably saw it beforehand and didn't read it because I don't like tutorials, and that's my fault. But the haggling is so difficult. The haggling is what brings you back, because you're like, I'm gonna get good. And it's difficult to get good at the haggling, but you can do it. You can get good at the haggling. Yeah, that's it for my review of Potion Craft. If you are a person who likes to play games before bed that are slow paced and chill, and you just want to relax at the end of the night, Potion Craft is for you. If you like strategy games with a little bit of puzzle into it, and kind of games with the social economic factor, Potion Craft is the game for you. If you're looking for a kind of easy to follow along game for a kid of yours that are between 7 and maybe 14 years old, or maybe you just have to do some light reading for them, Potion Craft is a game that your kids can play. But that is all from me. Thank you for tuning in. Toodles!